Hey everyone, it's Jen with DP Addiction Adventures. I am so glad that you are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight we are going to have an amazing night. We're going to be crafting, talking about diamond painting. We're going to explore a little bit of the world of depression, and hopefully we're going to ignore my son who always decides at 9 o'clock every night to scream his little head off. So bear with me. I hear him too. He is okay at being watched by his loving father. So welcome. I am so glad you're here. We are going to also have a special guest a little bit later tonight as we talk about this subject of depression. But until we get to that, let's talk about this week. Let's talk about crafting and let's welcome everyone in. Please let me know where you're coming in from and what craft you're currently working on as we say hello. So hello, Muttnuts. I'm so glad that you're here. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Sadie. You'll catch the replay after work. Not a problem at all. Billy, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Hey, Sarah. Good evening. We are doing well. All right. And Brenda's in the house. Welcome, Brenda. I'm so glad you're here, Brenda. Let's see, who else is in the house? We have Dawn. Hi, Dawn. So good to see you. Hey, Chaotic. Welcome, welcome. Rochelle, I am doing great. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Jenny. Welcome. Felicia's in the house. Angie, I'm glad you're here. Tammy is working on J-Wall. I'm so excited for you, Tammy. Muttnuts is organizing her ABs in her new storage. So glad. Hey, Crafting and Crime Daily, Rebecca. It's Friday. Did you do your Friday dance this morning? I gotta like catch up from your morning show. I always do it with her when I watch every Friday after my live. I usually binge watch Rebecca's weekly show. And when I get to her Fridays, I'm like, oh, I gotta stop. I gotta do my dance with her. It's so much fun. So check out our channel if you haven't already. Hey, Jill. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Rhonda, Dippin' Time. I'm so glad that you're here as well. Everyone is having fun. All right, so I am working on, let me show you what it's supposed to look like. It's called Waves of Healing. I thought it was a great image for us during this I Am Enough 2023. Absolutely gorgeous. And then this is what it's turning out to be. What do you guys think? I'm really enjoying it. So I've got this blue wave done over here. And then I did towards the top. And then now I'm working right up here. I just took off my Crafts with Crashly release papers right here so that I could work on a section. I haven't had time to cut off the plastic yet, but I'm working in this top right corner. Absolutely love how it's coming along. Yes, isn't it gorgeous? So exciting. Oh, Dippin' Time loves Rebecca's dance as well. Berna came into the world by Mama's Ba. By the way, been a lot. Oh no! I'm glad you're home, Berna. I'm glad you're able to recover a little bit. Hopefully, you can prop your feet up, hug those little doggies, and enjoy some crafting. Hey, Roxanne, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Jen, welcome. But yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I've been blinging it out. So I've been adding some ABs and I've been adding some sparklers for squares, and I've been adding some crystals. It's turning out really well. Her hair And this size was still the blue background. So what I did is I took a brown and I kind of made her hair brown, even though it didn't come like that in this size. So I feel like that helped the situation. The situation. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. So tonight, my daughter had her soccer game. We went and enjoyed that. I didn't know high school, but high school has a mercy rule. So there was about 25 minutes left in the game, and our team was up 8-0, and so the game ended. So we got to come home a little bit early, eat some dinner, just kind of hang out for about an hour as a family before I hopped on the live. So, yes. Oh, everyone's saying, Berta, sorry to hear you're having medical stuff going on. Hey, Angel, I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Linda, welcome, welcome. So, I have a Mountain Dew to keep me awake, and then I have my water in my green glass. These glasses I bought in college. I graduated in 2003, so these cups are 20 years old. They came in a pack of 4 from Walmart and have been through thick and thin with me, but I love them because they're like rounded square, and so I can drink out of them pretty easily, and they hold a lot of liquid. But 20 years old, it's not even Tupperware. I think these were 88 cents to $1 for 4 of them. I got a blue set and I have a green set, and they've been with us ever since. Dishwasher safe, everything. So let me get a drink. Excuse me. Also, I got some more of these. I had to buy them off of eBay. I think Karina asked me what the name of them was, and I still don't know what the name is. I have to Google it. This is the off-brand, but I had to buy it off of eBay. So I got my bubbles in there, and then I put my round bubbles in here, and then this was the extra up here at the top. But yeah, I ended up getting 6 of these because it was a pack of 6 on eBay, and I couldn't find them anywhere else. So I was super excited. I was reminded when Mutt Nuts, I think, was saying she was doing her storage, that I had just gotten new storage. So that's exciting. There's so many things I get excited about. Storage, and more storage. I'm running out of room. Truly. Let's see, what else happened this week? My boss was on vacation and our admin at work is on vacation. So I have 3 cell phones, my own, my boss's, and the admin cell phone for work, plus my own cell phone. So I guess that's 4 cell phones. And it's been crazy. Hey, Tijuana. And I held them up like a deck of playing cards one day because I was just like, there's way too many cell phones going on here. Yeah, it's nuts. Angel, I do not have my own craft room. What you see basically right here is what I have. It's our family room, and I have like a little nook that's about a 6x6 space, and that's what I craft in. Um, and so yeah, it's tight, but that's okay. It's all right. I'll make it. Angie said that she's burnt out on crocheting and diamond painting. She started diamond painting work on DNC Chuck Henson, but I think I need to switch to the diamond paintings to have a more fun one. Yeah, especially when, yeah, Chuck Henson, if you're getting a little burnt out, is not the best to select because it's very tedious. It's got a lot of color changes. When you're up close, you don't see as much of the progress that you're making. Hey, Angie's, I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to Friday Fun with Jen. Yes. All right, so we did soccer, talked about work a little bit. Let's see, what else is going on? Jude is finally feeling better. He still gets cranky after he eats, like with a tummy ache, but at least he's not throwing up all over us. So that's good. We wish he could sleep through the night, but tomorrow we are moving him into his nursery. The reason we have it is because we're super lazy, and because he doesn't sleep through the night, it's much easier for us to get out of bed and grab him when he's 3 to 4 feet away than having to walk across the hall into the room, pick him up, because by then we're wide awake. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe he'll sleep better by being in his own room. I don't know. What else is going on? Oh, my daughter was accepted into this like great opportunity at school, so she's been doing that, and where she goes has a flight school attached to it, and so if she wanted to, she could actually graduate with a pilot's license from high school. She has decided at this time not to go that direction, but this is kind of like a little mini like test out flights and take you up in the airplane and different things like that to see if this is really what you want to do. And only 10 people were selected out of her school, and she was one of those 10. So she and another friend are doing that. So they started on Wednesday, and it's like 3 days, but we don't know when the other 2 days are going to happen. So that's been going on. I posted in the community tab, okay? In my community tab, I have been threatening my daughter for almost 2 years now that I would buy one of those big head cardboard things, right? Right, Angel? Angel's working on Rebirth Awaits from DAC. Oh, awesome. Um, thank you, thank you. Everyone's congratulating her. I appreciate that. So one of those big cardboard heads, right? Like these 2-foot heads. And I've been threatening to get one to take to one of her soccer games and just be like, "Go, Lydia!" And she just rolls her eyes at me. Well, last night, okay, I posted that I wanted to do it on the community page. And last night, I actually hit the button. Yes, the button. And so I have ordered a big head. And it's on a stick. And as soon as I get it, we'll see how much I can embarrass my daughter. She just like rolled her eyes and was like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, why in the world would you do that?" And I thought, because you didn't think I would actually do it, so I went ahead and did it. So if you are a member, I will be posting pictures of her embarrassment, or me at a soccer game with a big head next to me, those kind of things. It's supposed to come, I think, in 2 weeks. So we'll see. I'll be on the sidelines with a baby in one arm and a big head in another, and being like cheering back and forth. Oh, yeah. So Angie's saying that she laughed so hard when I called my son Jack Jack. It is true. He turns in to Jack Jack for sure. Depending on let me just see 1 second. Oh, I got the sniffles. I'm gonna sneeze. 1 minute. Okay. Let me see if I can find a picture. This is we had just given him a bath, so he looks, but this was when he was sick. Thank you, Billy. So he looked so pitiful. He did. He did. I couldn't get him to smile for the life of me. He kept going like, "Mom, stop it. I don't feel good." And then this was him later. He was like, "I'm hugging myself. Whoa, yeah, that's me. That's me." I need to get a picture of him like when he's crazy crying. This is the big head thing. That's not my daughter, but that's the big head thing. So But he looks like Jack when he starts screaming. He just does. He does. So I need to get a picture. I just haven't taken a picture of him screaming because that just sounds pitiful of me being a mom and taking pictures when he's screaming. Hey, Robin, so good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Thank you. He is such a cutie. Billy says, I love the video where dad meets the kids' school bus daily with different costumes. Right? Right. Angel says she feels so old. Her daughters are 20 and 18. Right, Rochelle? It is awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to get pictures. Well, my oldest is 15 and my youngest is almost 8 months. So it's been crazy. It's been a crazy ride. But speaking of, I'm really glad you guys joined me because I love this series that we're doing, I Am Enough 2023. And the reason I did it was because I just wanted us to relax in who we are. So we've talked about anxiety and we've talked about self-care. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about depression. Angie's, what you do is you can take it to a sporting event or a game or something like that. And it's just a different way to cheer. Cheer for you, your kids, whatever. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about depression, but also May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're doing this through April and through May. And if you guys really like it, I have enough that we can go into June if you would like. So please give a thumbs up or hashtag replay. And so we're going to kind of talk through some of this stuff. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about depression itself. Then we're going to bring on our special guest. And then I have some tools that I left down in the description as well that you guys can either print off or download and use in your own way. Hey, Melinda, I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so I'm going to share this screen. It's called The Cycle of Depression. Let me see. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Stop sharing. Share screen. Window. This is what I want. Okay. So this is called The Cycle of Depression. And I'm just going to go walk you guys through it just a little bit. I'm trying to zoom. Okay. We'll do it this way. So over here on the left-hand side, you've got your stressors, which then leads to these thoughts and feelings and physical symptoms, which then lead to behavior. And it becomes this just endless cycle. And so stressors are any situation, as it says, that causes strain or hardship. And they can be short-term or long-term stressors. These things could be like Jude, who never stops screaming at 9 o'clock at night. Or it could be financial. It could be, family relationships. It could be work issues. It could be, a stressor, like if you have dyslexia, a stressor of like constantly having to read things or adapt. It could be transportation, it could be medical, it could be whatever is bringing you frustration or hardship into your life. And so what happens is when the stressor comes in, you then have these thoughts and feelings and symptoms. Hey, Lizzie, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And so thoughts, I like this worksheet because it kind of says like these thoughts can be irrational or exaggerated when we're in this negative space. Because, like we talked about with anxiety, our brain is divided up into 3 sections. There's a logic area, which is where we make all of our decisions. There's a feelings area, And then there's a survival area, which maintains this like homeostasis or this state stability in our life. And when we feel threatened by a stressor, we end up being best friends with our feeling brains, and our logic goes out the window. And so our thoughts, instead of our thoughts being, um, you know, let's use, um, I'm trying to think of a good example, like a bad day at work, okay? It could be that, you accidentally did something wrong at work. And so now, instead of all people make mistakes, this was a one-time thing, um, all of a sudden you get this feeling of, I always do everything wrong. I never do everything right or anything right. My boss is always picking on me, et cetera, et cetera. And so you have these thoughts that I need to be perfect. I'm not good at anything. Nobody likes me. It starts to be this distorted way of thinking. And then the feelings get fed. And so now you have sadness, hopelessness, loneliness, anger. And it's not this normal level, it's an extreme level. And then your body, because it's constantly trying to deal with the stressors, has fatigue, sleep problems. You might have poor circulation, loss of motivation, and more and more and more. And so that cycle then leads to the behavioral response, which goes back to that homeostasis part of our brain, the survival part. And so we isolate, or we stop doing our daily tasks, or we cope with negative things such as drugs or alcohol. And drugs doesn't necessarily mean cocaine or heroin. Drugs could be, painkillers, or they could be, um, sleep aids, or they could be caffeine pills to keep yourself awake, things like that. And so this cycle just continues on and on and on. And so the depression is a way we respond to life, but then it's also a way our brain respond like is dealing with life. So some people have depressive moods, and that comes and goes with more coping skills and support systems and things like that. And then some people have depression, and that's more of a biological and life stressors coming together. And many times when the chemicals in our mind are out of balance, that depression, there's no way for us, it's not like we can just pull ourselves out of bed. It's not like we can will ourselves to face the world. Like depression becomes this blanket on us. And so how do we deal with that? How do we come out with it? And some people live with depression their whole life, but if they have coping skills and they know and are aware of their triggers, they're aware of the times that they feel more depressed than not, they can overcome the symptoms, those depressive symptoms, and be able to live a successful life. All right, so let me stop share. Okay. So what I would like to do now is bring in our special guest, if she's ready, and just kind of talk a little bit about, I know I've had my own experience with depression. Chat, you're welcome to share your experience with depression. But I thought I would bring our special guest in. She volunteered, and she would like to talk and share from her heart. So I'm going to welcome her in. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
There we go.
Better. So I have my drug of choice here, the
Yay!
frappe. It's great for depression. So.
Yes. Chocolate, frappes, ice cream, popcorn.
That's why I'm this size.
Yes,
But,
yes.
it just struck a chord with me because I've had been dealing this one. I was first diagnosed in 98 when I was going through a divorce. But so I've had depression since then. And then I come to find out years later that it runs in the family. My mother was, oh God, I can't tell you how many times I would have to pick her up. I'd have to pack the kids in the car and run over to her house and take the knives away and take the pills away. I'm sure my sister has as many stories as that, and then get her into the hospital. And I'm not that bad, thank God. She just had no coping skills. And frappes were not a thing back then. So, yeah.
I wonder if a depressed person created frappes.
I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing that struck a chord with me was when you said, like, the negativity. I still to this day and believe, from all the things that I've done in my life, that I've failed at every one of those things. That I am a failure, and you can't convince me otherwise, because I just feel like that.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to start to cry, because I will, but I do feel like everything I've ever done is a failure. The only thing about the YouTube, I don't think I'm a failure at YouTube, but I don't think I'm a success either. So, I mean, I'm just there. Some people like me, most people don't. So it's okay.
Well, and that's the depressive lens that
that
your mind has put there, right?
Yeah.
And no amount of coping skills or frappes or anything. It's that's
Yeah.
the worldview that's kind of grown into your mind.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't, no matter how many people tell you, oh, you're not. No, you're not. Well, you still feel that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Yeah.
I'm good at being a friend. Yes, I'm a good friend. Although some people may argue with you on that as well. So.
Well, and that's kind of the lie depression puts in our head, because like you said, we can tell you our truth with you on all the things we see that you succeed at, but internally, when we're depressed, we don't feel it. Like, you can be told a million times and it just doesn't.
I just feel like if I can justify my feelings all day long. I mean, if I were a success at anything I had done in my life, I wouldn't be sitting here in a rental home at the age of 60, whatever. You guys know how old I am. Anyway, so, I mean, I wouldn't. I'd probably own a home, and I'd probably own a car. And I mean, I make payments on a car, but I mean, I don't have anything to my name. I have nothing to my name. I have no husband. My kids are grown. One of them doesn't talk to me, so.
Well, and that's something I talk about a lot, is redefining success. And it's so hard, because when I still struggle with depression every day. And so when I talk to my clients who have nothing, it's, how am I successful? I used to own this farm. I used to do this. I used to do that, in the Congo. And then everything was taken from me. And now I'm here and I have nothing. I can't drive. I can't read. I can't write. I don't own anything. I'm nothing. And so, how do you help get over that depressive feeling? And it's, how do you define success? And so when I was depressed, like really like in bed, suicidal thoughts, can't get out of bed, I had to think, success for me today is getting out of bed and taking a shower.
Yeah.
And if I did that, it was like, yay, I was able to get out of bed and take a shower, and I think the world tells us to be successful, we have to own a house. To be successful, we have to own a car. And it's up to you to accept what you think success is. And I'm not saying you, Rebecca, I'm just talking in general with depression, is how can we accept what our success is? And that's a hill that is sometimes we can't climb.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I just do what makes me happy. I
Mm-hmm.
had to get rid of the job. The job was just
Mm-hmm.
killing me. It was, and I couldn't. Nobody understood that I have this anxiety and I have depression, and they just want you to produce, and so without that, I love what I do now. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really matter that I don't have 50,000 subscribers or whatever. I just love what I do, so that's why I get out of bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But even like my eBay thing, I haven't listed anything in months, and I kept every time I think of it, I think it would overwhelm me. It would just say, well, I'm not that great at it anyway. And then all of a sudden I get this email that I'm a top eBay seller. I'm like, what? You're kidding. So, and then I remembered something someone told me several months ago, just list 5 things a day. Just, it only takes like a half an hour. And then before you know it, you're up and running again. But yeah, the crafting helps a lot because I just
Mm-hmm.
lose myself in it. And I think that's why I do so much and I've accumulated so much, is because I just overwhelm myself with it.
Yeah.
I've got so much yarn and so many diamond paintings. And is that part of
Mm-hmm.
depression? Hoarding? Hoarding craft supplies? I don't know.
I It's a type of coping skill. Like for me, it's a type of control, right? So I can control what I buy, or like for me, color makes me happy. So if I see a diamond painting that has like 70 colors, like, oh, that makes me happy. And then I buy it and then I never do it because I have 200 other diamond paintings in front of me. So it is, I mean, it's so funny. I watched Hoarders during my maternity leave. I watched all like 12 seasons of it, and
Oh, I love that show. I love that
every
show.
single one of them are depressed.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's
That's true.
and I think a lot of it comes with just there's a high when you purchase something uh that we get a type of happiness, at least for me. There's like a type of happiness, and then by the time I get it, it's like that that high goes away. Yes. Yes. Jerry just mentioned that. Yeah. Purchasing items is a dopamine rush. So
See,
there's a
there you go.
chemical that's released in our brain that makes us happy.
Okay. And the other thing I absolutely hate is that how dependent I am on antidepressants. Like if I don't take if I miss one dose of this medication I'm on, I won't get out of bed the next day. Or if I do, I'm bawling and crying and
Mm,
I'm horrible the whole day. And I hate that I'm dependent like that. Why is my brain so different than everybody else's? I don't get
mhm.
that. And thank you guys for Berta's trying desperately to say something, and
I
YouTube won't
don't
let her
know.
say
I
it.
don't think I even have bots on. So I have no idea
Yeah,
what's going on.
but
Um,
yeah. So I just hate that my brain is wired that way. It just, my sister doesn't understand it. Why are you crying? I'm like, I don't know. She never cries. Never. I've never seen that woman cry. But me, I'm like, oh, it doesn't take much, and I'm sobbing. So
well, yeah, if I miss more than one dose, I can miss one dose and I'm okay as long as it's in my system. Like if I haven't missed any doses for a month, I can
yeah,
go one day, but then when I get home from work, I have to take it. But my brain does not make enough serotonin, which is I call it the happy juice. So
yeah,
there's dopamine and there's serotonin, and those two are the happy juices. And then cortisol is the stress. So that is released when we're stressed to help bring us back down. So those are kind of the three chemicals that work. And so either people take meds for more serotonin or people take meds for more dopamine. Um,
thank you, Robin.
um,
Part of
so
her prescription for health. Yay, Rhonda. Yay. Um,
yeah,
yeah. I know you guys are all with me. That's why I love you guys. You guys are fantastic. They're always there to support me. I've had shows that I've cut off after 10 minutes because I couldn't stop crying. But I haven't done that since I stopped working. So that's a good thing.
Well, and that was a big stressor in your life was work,
It was
you know?
horrible.
I'm so proud of you, even though it's tough for anyone financially if they don't work.
It
But I'm
is. It
proud of
is.
you for listening to yourself because I've seen you be, at least I've noticed you be happier or having more space.
No, I'm much happier. I'm
Yeah.
really much happier. Plus, it has nothing to do with depression. I just feel like when you're getting older in life, the younger people start gaslighting you in employment, and I'm like, no, I'm not even going to deal with that. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they.
What does gaslighting mean? I know what it means like in theme, but every time someone says it, my brain
It's like they
malfunctions.
they make you think you're doing something wrong or the wrong way when you're really not.
Okay.
But they overwhelm you with those feelings like, oh my God, I can't do anything right. And
Mm,
you're probably better at the job than anybody. It's gaslighting. Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's when somebody makes you feel less than, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I relate with the realness of each of you, and that's why I'm here. Oh, I
Thank
love
you,
Rhonda.
Rhonda.
She's
We
so
get to
sweet.
meet her at the retreat. I'm excited.
I know. I know.
Excited.
I'm so happy.
So there's something that I kind of give to my clients, which I think you do naturally, Rebecca. So maybe you can speak to this. I put this as a worksheet as well,
Oh,
but this is kind of a start. It's called the Control, Influence, Accept model. And you kind of talked about this already. And so the first page kind of talks about a breakdown of the different elements and how to fill out this document. But basically, this is something that you can use to fill out what is the event or situation that's stressful, and then what about it can you control? Because many times depression um, gives you that unreal filter that you have no control. And so, what can you control? And that's what I was talking about with success. Like on the days I couldn't get out of bed, it was I can control walking to the bathroom and not wetting the bed. I know that sounds like I know you
okay.
laugh at that, but
Okay. Yeah,
seriously, when
no.
when
No, I can
I
relate.
had the fatigue with depression that I couldn't even get out of bed, it's just
Yeah.
like, am I crawling to the bathroom? I'm just being real here.
Yeah.
And so, what can I control? Can I control wearing clean clothes? Can I control making sure I go out and get my mail every day? Can I control every night before I go to bed, making sure the dishes are washed so that when I get up in the morning, I'm not coming already depressed, coming into a dirty kitchen, right? You don't have to clean the kitchen, but maybe you rinse out your dishes. Um, so you kind of talk about what can you control because you can't control what other people do, no matter what. You can't control a boss who always says you're not doing your job correctly. You can't control like my son who screams at 9 o'clock every night and I want to bust my eardrums out. You can't control like Berta, silly YouTube that's not letting her
But she did
post a
send you a
message.
messenger post if you want to.
Okay, I'll look at it
Yeah.
in just a second, Berna.
Okay.
So then you talk about like what can you influence? And so I'm going to pop up here. Influence is like how you can respond to an event, your responses to others, and knowing who to turn to. So, you know, if my boss were to come to me and tell me I didn't turn something in again on time, even though I know I did, how do I respond? Do I go into my car and let her words like manipulate my life, or do I call up a friend and vent it out? so that that poison my boss tried to put in me is out. Can I go and get a frappuccino? Can I go and, look at all of my favorite YouTube people? Can I speak up for myself? Different things like that. And then what do I need to accept? So there's certain things that we accept because we can't change. Today, I'm just having a really bad depressive day. I'm going to accept myself for who I am. It's just a bad day. And so I'm going to just stay to myself. I'm going to diamond paint. Maybe I'm going to take a nap, maybe, just different things like that. So what do I need to accept? And then after you do this, just kind of looking and going, do I feel different than I felt before? And I always use the word different instead of better, because with depression, better is a scary word because many times we don't feel better. And so different might be a better word to think about. Do I not feel as overwhelmed? Do I not feel as dark? Do I feel maybe I will cry at the drop of a hat, but I'm not crying yet? So that's better, or that's different. And so, I always like to think, how do you feel about the situation, and is there a difference? And so this is something that takes you again from that feeling part of your brain into that logic. So as you start to think, that logic will help your feeling kind of feel like it's getting a big hug, that it deserves to be heard, it deserves to be honored, and that your feelings don't have to hide. They're not alone. And if you do this exercise a couple times, it's not going to make you happy, happy, joy, joy, but it's going to keep you grounded so that you don't find yourself so far out there that you can't come back. So I just thought I would share one of those.
That's a nice little exercise. I probably would be too depressed to find the paper, but that's okay.
Right. This isn't for like if
Where did I put that paper?
This isn't when you're so depressed.
Okay.
This is when you're like, screw my boss, or how dare I run out of gas again, or why is the electric company calling me for the 18th time? I don't have any money.
Or you need 3 new tires before you can go on vacation. And, so you have to spend half your vacation money buying tires. And
yes.
And you can get upset about it, or you can think, okay, I can't control this. You need new tires.
Exactly.
You got to get new tires. So, yeah. But I'm not telling everybody to quit their job, but I had to protect myself. I just had to. But I mean, I'm old enough to do it anyway, to quit. So I just feel bad for younger people that suffer from this, and I don't know. But I think that's why I went from job to job so often, is because I couldn't. The only way to cope was just to get out of the situation, move on. I'm done. See ya, and start over. Oh, what was she trying to say?
So Berta was trying to say that I don't tell many people, but I have times that I just want to go to sleep and never wake up. I don't want to die. I just want to sleep. That's one part of my depression. And Berta, I hear that a lot.
Oh, I'm a champion sleeper.
Yeah. It's sleep is an escape. It's a way to dissociate from the world. You're safe in bed. It also triggers in a good way, like that survival brain from when we were in the womb, just like warm and isolated, and just kind of, that's a way that we can feel like we're healing. And so I hear that a lot, that sleep is, and I myself escape through sleep.
I escape with food.
What's your favorite food group to escape in, like
Oh,
cheese or ice
anything with
cream or
sugar, chocolate.
sugar?
Oh God, if it's got chocolate in it, I
What
just
about
came back
peanut butter?
I came back from vacation with a bag full of taffy. Now, my sister can't eat it. Now it's only a half a bag of taffy, so I'm just telling you, So, yeah, I love the sweets. I
Mhm.
do. You know, I don't get up and make bacon and eggs for breakfast. I have a Pop-Tart. So, but that whatever that sugar rush is doing for me, it's working. But that's why I'm overweight. So, I'm teaching myself that even if I can accomplish something small every day, it's better than nothing. Yes.
Mhm.
I like that.
Mhm. Oh, Angie's Crafting with Diamonds says that she and chocolate have a close relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like chocolate's my lover,
Oh my,
50 shades of chocolate.
what would I do without it? Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I will tell my husband when he's grocery shopping, I'll be like, just get me a big chocolate bar. So he'll get me one of those extra large Hershey bars.
Uh-huh.
And so then I'll break it up and I'll eat it sometimes in little bits.
Well,
I just need
I did the
chocolate.
whole surgery thing and got skinny, and I did not like who I was when I was skinny. I didn't like it. I didn't look good. I couldn't eat, and that just drove me nuts because I had nothing to cope with. I don't. I think then at that point I turned to video games. I would do a lot of video gaming, but you got to have some kind of outlet. And when the food got taken away, that was really a problem for
Mm.
me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Potato chips or popcorn. Okay. I can make some recommendations for you on that as well.
Uh, Angie
See,
says,
keeping them out of your house. I like that. But I know how to get in the car and go get them. I
because you
happen
have
to
three
have
new tires.
I have a Dollar General that I could literally walk to if I didn't even have a car. So, and Dollar General, oh my God, they're king of snacks in that store.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Nut says she has some bad days the past 4 days, but she's forcing herself out of bed and to do something, even if it's for 30 minutes to an hour. Different
Well,
times that.
I think that's why we have each other in this community. I think I that's why if you come to my chats, I refuse to talk about anything health related because I
Mhm.
just don't believe that's the place for it. But there are other outlets. There's Facebook messengers where you can communicate with everybody. I've set up a Discord where people can have conversations amongst
Mhm.
themselves. Just not in my chat because everybody wants to one up everybody else, and then it's all you're doing is going down and then nobody's talking about crafting. But I mean, here we're specifically talking about this. But ice cream, yeah.
She says she doesn't think she would trust your recommendations. What does that mean?
Oh, because for a while there, I probably will start that back up again. But over the summer and stuff, I was doing a different flavor of ice cream every Sunday.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
tried. I was trying them. I didn't like them all. There was Kraft macaroni and cheese ice cream.
Ooh.
There was one that I could not find that they came out with recently, and it's called Hidden Valley Ranch ice cream.
Were you the one that introduced the Little Debbie ice creams?
I have I've done the Little Debbie ice
Because I
cream.
actually went out to search for it after I saw that video, and I ate a whole pint of it
Oh
because of
yeah.
you. Not in a bad way, because you recommended it.
Yeah, I've tried some really weird flavors, but
Where did you get like the mac and cheese one?
there's at the local, what do they call them? The neighborhood Walmart, not the big
Okay,
Walmart. The neighborhood Walmart
right.
sells
Hmm.
this. particular brand that comes out with all these weird flavors.
Oh, interesting.
And so I would try them. But once during the winter, you can't really get them
Hmm.
because it's winter. But hopefully they'll come out with some really good ones, and I can redo that on Sundays. But yeah, I'm trying to think what the worst one was. Probably the Kraft macaroni and cheese was really disgusting. It
That
really
doesn't
was.
sound.
Oh yeah, there was a pizza one and some other ones, but
Mm,
yeah. And I mean, they do it in conjunction with the company. So it looked like, they had the
yeah.
logo, the Kraft macaroni and cheese. Yeah.
Uh,
It was gross. It was really
And I'm
gross.
sure they have to rotate because it's one of those, like, because it doesn't taste good, people just buy it once as
Yeah.
like a,
To show when they're live. And then my sister's like, "Are you ever going to eat all this ice cream?" Hell no. Throw it away. Yeah, no. So Sarah has seen the Hidden Valley Ranch ice cream at Walmart. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I would try it for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Angel. I appreciate the super sticker. I love stickers. They're so fun. Appreciate it.
But I
So I
don't
have, go ahead.
yeah, I don't think I'll ever beat the depression. I just stave it
Yeah.
off by crafting and keeping busy. But I have to talk myself into exercising, and I have to talk
Hmm.
myself into a lot of things. So why
Yep.
waste the money on Sue, you are always the epitome of common sense, but honey, you should know when you watch me, you're not going to get that, okay? Sue is always she's like my mom. Stop. Stop.
She, and Kel says she's learned that not everything deserves to be in her mouth. Oh, well, I have one more thing. I know when you're at a level of depression that's really high, sometimes only medication, sometimes continuously being in this cycle of regrouping and rethinking and things like that is really the only way to get through it. It's not like there's this magic button. Um, but here is another activity for those watching on replay or here. And, we were talking about coping skills just a little bit earlier. And so I'm going to share this with you guys. And again, I'm not saying that this fixes things, but if you
Well,
have like,
let me just say, for everybody that's worried about how much money I spend on ice cream, I bought the ice cream through donations of my subscribers who wanted me to try the ice cream. Okay. I wasn't spending my personal money. There you
there
go.
you go.
Okay.
I love it. So, Rebecca, you mentioned coping skills earlier, and I've mentioned it before too. And so, this is just kind of a breakdown of how, in that cycle that we talked about at the beginning, one of the cycle is things is behavior. And so, these are some things that you potentially could do to help your behavior. And so, there's 5 different areas. There's exercise, socialization, responsibilities, hobbies, and personal care. We always love hobbies, right? Because we're crafters. And so that's something that we can do. And so you just kind of choose some activities you are likely to complete. So, like, I hate exercise. I'm not going to choose an exercise on here. I'm not going to go for a walk. I'm not going to, but I might call and vent to Rebecca or call on Tia and just say I'm having a really bad day. And then they'll send me a picture or they'll send me a joke or something like that. It doesn't cure my depression, but it helps me feel better for 5 minutes or lets me know I'm loved or appreciated or at least heard. And that's half the battle. Um, Now, responsibilities, I like to do the opposite. So if cleaning the house is going to depress me, can I accept not cleaning the house? Can I go a day and not have to think about cleaning the house? So I kind of do a little bit of a reversal to make myself feel better. Um, and then you're going to practice what activity. So you're going to start small and you're going to break it into smaller pieces. So, like I said, I may just reach out to Rebecca or Tia or Ashley and just say one thing. I'm not going to call them and talk for an hour. I can't when I'm depressed. So you're going to start out small. Then you're going to make a plan. Again, part of depression is helping set yourself goals. If you don't reach the goal, that's okay. Accept that you didn't reach that goal. That's all right. But you want to at least try. So an example is practice a hobby immediately after dinner every day. So if you have dinner, reward yourself and be like, I'm going to do diamond painting for 20 minutes or for an hour or however long. Um, and then bring a friend. So include a friend in your plan, because if you share it with somebody, you're more apt to follow through for accountability. And I would share it with somebody who's okay if you don't do it. If I tell Rebecca I'm going to finish this diamond painting on Sunday, and for some reason I don't finish it on Sunday, she's not going to make me feel guilty about it. She's not going to rub it in my face. She's not going to say, well, you have to do it by next Sunday. No, she's a true friend. She's going to be there for me. But because I shared it with her, I'm more apt to think about it or be more goal oriented instead of stuck in my feelings. And so it's just a little thing to think about. And then there's social support. So leaning on existing relationships, being okay with going out. So make a habit of saying yes, even when you're tempted to stay in. Now, again, start small. We're not saying you have to go out every single night, but maybe once a month, you make a phone call with a friend for 15 minutes. Like that would be a socialization. You could join a support group, again, like a messenger group, going to a live every Friday night at 9 or every Sunday 11
11
Eastern.
Central.
Okay. And then good things. So these are some things like think about some positive things in your day. And I hate writing, so I just lay in bed and I think about them. Or if I'm taking a shower, I think about them. And they can be extremely small. Like yesterday, the sun was shining, and I didn't have to wear a coat to my car in the morning. And my husband picked up my son, so I didn't have to carry a 20-pound baby in a carrier to the car. Those were like three things. Um, and so you can just that's an example. And then we talked about self care last week. So we talked about some mindfulness. I won't get into all of that. So these are just a few things that you can do. Again, I'm not saying they fix depression. Don't get me wrong. Depression is huge. We are just scratching the surface tonight. But this hopefully will show that you're not alone and that there is some glimmers of hope that you can have a couple minutes a day where you might not be stuck in that depressive state. Um, so yeah, just wanted to share that.
Now,
And
I have this guy that I follow on Instagram, and every morning I will pull up Instagram and see what he has to say that morning. It's BWB Positivity.
mm,
He is fantastic. He went from like 500 to 5 million subscribers in no time, but he just comes up and he'll say, take my hand, breathe, and then he'll give you like a positive affirmation.
mhm,
And I'm always forwarding them annoyingly to people, especially like Lisa and Tia, people that I can annoy. But I actually breathe with him and
yeah,
take a few moments to be mindful, and then I get out of bed after I looked at the rest of Instagram. But
yeah.
so
Does that affect you in a positive way?
yeah, it does. It does.
Hmm.
I've taken mindfulness courses and I used to teach it at the hospital because being mindful is a huge part of healthcare. If you're not mindful and intentional in what you do, you're going to overdose somebody. So I would teach it and then I just have to do what I teach, you know, just, step back, take a deep breath. But this whole socialization thing, I don't want to leave the house. I don't.
No.
I really don't. But like today, I realized that, I I tried to get some people to come into Discord with me and do the steps. And, I'm like, this is not working. So
Mm-hmm.
I called up a friend. I said, because I knew she had been unemployed. I said, if you're not working, can we go walk in the park? And she's like, yeah, except it rained all day today when I had the idea. So we're going to do it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But just something to get me out of the house. And because I don't like to leave the house, I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Yeah.
rather stay in my craft room and craft
Mm-hmm.
and do YouTube and all the other stuff that I do. But I'm going to do it because I need the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Lisa's been working on a fabric journal cover for a friend. Nice.
All right.
Oh, Lisa
So
loves them. Yeah, BWB positivity. Look this guy up. He's flaming gay, but just
doesn't matter.
yeah, he is so impactful. He really
Yeah.
is. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the end of the day, depression, like I said, you can't just get out of bed and smile. Depression is not an easy fix. It's something that we live with every day, very
Mhm.
similar to if our arm were cut off. But how do we adapt if our arm is cut off so that we can still enjoy life?
Yeah.
And so if we look at depression in a way as just another part of who we are, and so how can we adapt to our depression and not let depression control us? And so it's going to be a part of us. But how can we still live our life in a way that we're in control of our life and depression is not? And that's kind of like we talked about last week, self-care. The distinction is being intentional with self-care. The same is true for depression, allowing ourselves to be in control versus the depression to be in control. And accepting it's not going to be fixed. With if we accept it, like if I accept that my arm got cut off,
Yeah.
then I can start to work and adapt to how can I enjoy life with one arm, even though two would be preferable and three would just be odd.
Yeah.
But so it's just a different way about thinking about depression, especially, if you're in a depressive, if you're not just a depressive mood, but you have depression, it's just something you're going to be living with for the rest of your life. And so how do we live with it successfully?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on tonight, Rebecca, and just being vulnerable and honest. And I know this is a journey that you've been on, and you are doing it with grace, and are a great example of how to not let it control you, and kind of continue to check in and continue to reevaluate so that you can move forward.
And I have my sisters to thank.
We love you. We love you.
Always there
All
with the
right,
coffee.
everyone. I love you all. Happy diamond painting and crocheting and cross stitching or whatever you're doing this weekend. Don't forget to take time for you. So I love you all.